Welcome back. In the last step, we initialized state in the constructor. We said counter has a value of 0 and this is what should be in this state. And when user clicks on the increment button, what we did was we called the set state method and gave it the new value of counter. We did not really update the value of counter in the state directly. We did not say this.state.counter plus plus. What we did is this.setState and gave it the new value of counter. Why does React make this so complex? To understand that, you need to understand something called DOM. What you are looking at is the full version of the counter that we would develop in the next few steps. What you'd see is beneath that the HTML is complex. Even for this simple counter, the HTML beneath it is really complex. When we click +10, -5 or do any operation in here, the counter is getting updated. The counter is getting updated through JavaScript. How does JavaScript know where to update the whole thing? The way it works is JavaScript has an internal representation of this page called the DOM. Document, Object, Modal. So each of these elements is a node inside the DOM. And whenever you need to make a change, what happens is some JavaScript code gets executed to update that specific element. The thing about DOM is very complex. If you have worked with jQuery, if you have worked with any applications from 5 to 10 years back, you know how difficult it is to update the document object model. And the other thing is updating DOM is a very slow process. Now, how does React counter it? That's where a very important concept called virtual DOM comes into picture. Virtual DOM is React's representation of the DOM in memory. Because it's in memory, making changes to virtual DOM is very easy. What React does is, if you have two versions of state, it creates the virtual DOM for these two versions and then finds the diff between them and then uses that to update the DOM. So instead of making 100 updates to the DOM, what React does is it finds out what are the exact two things that are changing and only updates those two things. So let's take an example. Let's say the current state of the counter is 5 and you are calling set state to increment the counter. So the new state of the counter would be 6. What React would do is to build the virtual DOM for both these states. So it would already have built the virtual DOM with the state value as 5 and it would build the new virtual DOM with the state value as 6. It would do a diff identifying the fact that only the specific part of the DOM needs to be updated and then it would go ahead and update the DOM. In this quick video, we understood what's happening in the background, how React uses virtual DOM to ensure that the applications are as efficient as possible. I'll see you in the next step. Until then, bye-bye.